Fertibag was only the first synthetic biology technology to successfully get into the market and to be used worldwide. Well, with Fertibag, we have had 15 years where we have seen world hunger and poverty end due to an increased yield of crops. And we have seen this open the door to other synthetic biology technologies.
In the safety trials, did you simulate physically or using computer models this type of extreme either exposure to chemicals or heat?
So the scientist himself, he has done safety tests on a small scale, but in a field environment where we produce and Fertibag is released into a large environment, the manufacturer has internal and external regulations. So internally, we ensure that every batch of Fertibag we produce adheres to strict quality and safety testing. And externally, we constantly receive feedback from farmers who use Fertibag, whether there's any change or variation in the crops they see.
You're talking about the possibility of mutation, and in the case of a mutation preventing it from spreading, you must be aware that genetic material can in fact mutate, and I don't agree that you didn't think of the possibility of the gene shield mutating as well and losing its function, so not having a secondary measure in place.
I mean, mutation is expected. We have placed safety measures in place. As I've said, we have tested gene shield with all kinds of factors that we would have expected the bacteria to be in contact with. The thing is, the chemical spill is something that is completely unpredictable. It's a complete accident, and that is why mutation has happened.
You were working with a living microorganism. You know that living microorganisms mutate, that if your product was successful, and it has been incredibly successful, clearly, and lots of farmers all over the world have been wanting to use it and buy it, and you've made lots of profit out of it, it was going to be used over millions of hectares in different environmental conditions, in different kind of farming conditions. It was going to mutate in the end. The idea that you could control horizontal gene transfer on that scale in all these different conditions, I think in the first place was problematic. So what we've heard more is, I would have liked to hear more of what you expected to do after the mutations happened, and if an adverse mutation did happen.
That is one of the risks of synthetic biology technology, and this is something that we definitely thought about when deciding whether to release this product to market. We decided the potential benefits of this fertilizer outweighed the potential risks of mutation, controlled as they were.
And I would like to add that we have added a lot of layers of protection as to make it as safe as possible, the use of synthetic biology. I would say that a time delay in response from the initial chemical spill would also be a factor, because we initially thought that it was just the rice that was contaminated by the chemical spill, and we first stopped all importing of the rice, and it was much later on before it was traced to the actual mutation of Fertibag before we realized that that was the actual cause of the problem. So time delay in response might also affect the control of the mutation.
And also, if we were expecting some kind of mutation, we weren't expecting a toxin. So,
do you think it was the chemical spill? Do you think it was Fertibag itself? Do you think it was the use of the gene shield?
What I really think is that we don't know enough, but that's basically the problem, because I don't hear. That's the problem. I don't hear any of these scientists saying it was the chemical spill. I don't hear them saying that it was the gene shield. I hear them say they don't know.
We've seen from the gene shield example that one protective mechanism is not enough. So my recommendation would be to scientists to actually to brainstorm on including more protective mechanisms, and even protective mechanisms for protective mechanisms in case they fail.
There's no 100% safety, that we do need to make choices considering solving world food population problems, that we took that risk, but that we now have to think about how to make it more safe, or in specific, what are we going to do more about risk management, or what are we going to do precautionary principles.